All right, we're live now. What's going on, everybody? It's just me, J Zach, and Dean here today. Until anybody else
What's
tags
up,
in,
everybody?
what's going on for the Intern podcast today? Um,
Day after Turkey Day, baby.
Day after
Hopefully,
Turkey Day. Yep.
everybody's feeling good,
Yes, sir.
nice and full. You know.
Hope you guys all had a good Thanksgiving. We were gonna do this yesterday, but we didn't want to do this on Thanksgiving. We just felt like maybe we should
Yeah.
hold off a little bit. Wait. Till
Nobody would have
Thanksgiving's
listened
over.
anyway, bro.
Nobody would have listened. Yeah, you guys.
They would have
watching
been
dog food.
napping. All what's it? What's it
It's
called?
called,
Tryptophan
I don't
in the
know.
turkey.
Yeah, something like that.
Tryptophan.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Man. Whew. First, Dean, how was your Thanksgiving? Hope it was a good one.
Yeah, it was good, man. I went to my parents' house. I made a big plate, and then everyone just started talking smack. So I just wrapped it in tinfoil and went home.
Yeah, gotta do what
And
you gotta do, man.
I didn't eat Thanksgiving dinner till today.
Dang.
But you know what? It was good.
You gotta do what you gotta
That's
do.
all that matters. How was yours?
It was good. It was good. I went to like
Yeah.
3 different places actually. Yeah.
Better you than me.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't bad. I didn't dislike it. You know, only one of the places wasn't too good, but besides that, it was all right. But I think we're gonna go ahead and just hop into this first topic already, and I basically just want to talk about that Buccaneers game and what do you think was like the major takebacks? You know, just things we should take from that Buccaneers game, and you know, things that we can look at the
Yeah,
understand
definitely.
the team, like where the team's heading with it.
Well, what I took from it is once they put Jameis in, dude, it was lights out. Like if Jameis was in the whole game, we would have had no shot. And the thing I think I tried to bring up was I was watching NFL Network all day today, and not just Peter Schrager, but multiple reporters are vouching, saying the Giants are going to run the table and win the NFC East and make it to the playoffs. And I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice
No, it wouldn't be
if
nice.
the Giants roll in the playoffs.
It wouldn't be
But
nice.
I mean, you got to look at the other perspective, and you know, we beat the Niners and the Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we still got to play everybody in our division. I don't even know what the rest of the schedule looks like, but I mean, the Giants have been known to, like I was telling you the other week, man, we'll win 4, 5, 6 games in a row and screw ourselves out of a top 10 draft pick towards the end of the year. Yeah, so
I mean, I don't, man, I don't understand what you meant by what you think. If Jameis is in, we would have lost. I don't think so at all. I think Jameis came in and was scoring and putting up yards.
Well, he had 2 touchdowns. I mean,
yeah, but he did that on a really, really tired defense that was pretty much over the game already because they assumed we were going to win. If he was in from the start, I seriously doubt they would have won. I think no matter what, we were going to win that game. But, I mean, we played a – I mean, everybody's thinking, oh, Eli did so good. Eli did so good. Like, he just literally – it was the worst defense in the league. Like, it's the worst defense in the league.
JPP still had, what, 2, 3 sacks? He said he was going to come and ball out.
No, he only had a sack and a half. He had a sack and a half.
But did you see the first sack he had? What did he do? He reached right down, grabbed Eli Manning, picked him right up, and hugged him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about
class.
that. I mean, it's class, but I don't care about
That's
that.
class.
I don't care if JPP has class or not. I care about the game. That's all I care about is the game. I don't care
if
JPP
went off.
didn't
You're
hurt.
happy Barkley went off.
Yeah, of course I'm happy Barkley went off.
Barkley. I mean,
yeah,
that kid is wow.
Yeah, I think Barkley's a phenomenal talent, but I don't know. I don't know. People are losing their freaking minds. We're not going to run the table. We're probably going to lose to the Eagles.
Never.
We might beat the Redskins because Alex Smith.
No, we're
down.
beating the Eagles. I'm calling that.
We'll see.
Put it on the
we're not going to
board,
run the table. I think we should lose.
No way though. But
I'm not saying the team needs to give up, but I'm saying it'd be better for the team if we lost every game from here on out. I mean, we're just screwing ourselves out of a top pick here. I mean, and I don't even really care for the whole Justin Herbert thing. It's not even about that. It's just about this team has so many holes, and I just want to get a high.
Yeah, and then you got to worry about what draft pick you have.
Yeah,
where the cards fall.
I want to have
we might not even have a good pick. Like,
yeah,
you know
I know.
What I mean? All the good players might be. We might have to trade down. You never know. That's the whole thing about tanking and not tanking. You never know what's going to happen towards the end of the year. You know, but I would love to whoop Dallas and Philly's ass.
Yeah, it's just I don't. Fuck, dude. I don't know. I think we need to get a high pick so we can trade it down because I think we have too much holes on this team to sit here and spend a high draft pick on like one player. You know, we have and here in the comment section we're seeing somebody say, "Hey man, you got to mute your mic when you're not talking to us. Too many background stuff going on."
Oh, my bad, bro.
It's all good. But there's a guy, saying he wants us to get Josh Allen, and I like Josh Allen. I think he's the best pass rusher in this draft class. Or Devin White. Devin White is overrated, but Devin White's he's not even the best linebacker in the class. But I think we need tons of players. We need linebackers. We need a little bit more pass rush. I think Lorenzo Carter. I actually would like Josh Allen. Maybe not in like a top 10 pick, but I would love Josh Allen to pair him along with Lorenzo Carter on the other side. I think that's a really good young, talented duo to have. I think that'd be really good. But we do need linebackers, and
Well, the Giants have always been known for their linebackers, LT, Carl Banks. You know what I mean?
We're known for having
the game is won in the trenches, bro.
Yeah.
You have to have a stout O-line and a stout D-line. Look at how successful the Pittsburgh Steelers have been with Ben Roethlisberger. What have they always vested in? Offensive line and defensive line. And even when people go down, they plug people in. It's like they never skip a beat. It's like, where do we go wrong? No, we draft the DeMontre Moores. We draft the William Josephs. We don't hit home runs.
Yeah, I mean, let's try to keep it more about like more recent years, though, man. I mean,
no, I hear you, you're young bug, but I'm just saying.
Not everybody knows all the older players, and honestly, I'm not trying to be a dick. It doesn't matter what happened back in the day. It matters what's going on now. Those are different coaches, different GMs, and we've seen here that Shermer and Gettleman are actually willing to invest in this offensive line. I mean, they went out and signed Nate Solder, desperate signing. Whether you think it was a bad signing or not, it showed the fact that they were willing to try and desperately fix our need. They went and signed Will Hernandez in the second round. I mean, they drafted him. I think it shows. I think there's if this past 1 year has shown anything, it shows that we're definitely going to get a linebacker in this year's draft, and we're going to get an offensive lineman. We might even get a cornerback, and I think that's what's important is that it shows that this team.
Huge, man. He's going to be great.
All right, I'm just it shows that this Shermer and Gettleman they're willing to invest in what's important to this team, and they don't avoid our desperate needs, and I see that, and it's looking good so far. I mean, we need a pass. I think Lorenzo Carter has been our best pass rusher, and PJ Hill has probably been our best run stuffer, which I'm pretty excited about. Our 2 third-round rookies coming in and showing up on this defense, which I'm pretty excited about. But let's go ahead and hop into the next topic here. Let's keep this fresh. I want to talk about this one. Let's hear. What do you think is the exact problem with this defense? Like, what do you think it really is? Coming down to the core, do you think it's just a lack of talent? What do you think it is?
They have talent. I mean, maybe not in the secondary, but I mean, they have players that can plug and play. I mean, Kerry Wynn's up and rising. I just think it's getting adjusted to the new scheme. I mean, you can't expect players to learn a whole new scheme in that short of a period of time and to be all on the same page with one another because everybody's still trying to learn the scheme. And when Spags came, it was just a miracle that we won it that year. The defense was playing that good. It takes a couple years for players to gel and work with one another and know each other is going to be at so they can take risks, jump on a route, go hard. I think it's just gonna take time, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think the main problem with this team is depth. I think we don't have any depth, and even at certain positions, we don't even have valid starters. I think we lack depth at the cornerback position. We lack it, at linebacker position, that's for sure. I think our defensive line depth is actually not too bad this year. I think we actually have a pretty decent defensive line. Kerry Wynn has shown to be pretty good, and Josh Morrow has actually shown to make some plays in the run game, which I'm pretty excited about. I think our defensive line depth is actually not bad this year at all. We still have RJ McIntosh, who I think was hurt or something like that, so he's on the injured reserve, or he's on the squad, who will be showing up again next year, which I actually had, in my opinion, I had RJ McIntosh as a higher rated player than BJ Hill coming into the draft. So I'm excited.
Really?
I think RJ McIntosh has got a lot of talent. I'm not saying he's going to be better, but I think as a college prospect, I thought he was better.
I'm really high on talent.
He's more of a traditional 4-3 defensive tackle, but I think he's got some serious
Well,
talent.
that's what we were running, though. You know, they drafted him as a 4-3 team. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Gettleman came in and switched it to a 3-4.
No, I'm not talking about Dalvin
No, we
Tomlinson.
were.
I'm talking about RJ McIntosh.
BJ Hill.
No, I'm talking about RJ McIntosh. Yeah.
You got me all twisted up, bro.
I guess so, man. Big Blue for life. I would like Josh Allen in the first and Dalton Risner in the second. I would be 1,000% happy with that. I would freaking love that. Josh Allen, but it depends on where we took Josh Allen. If we took Josh Allen with like a top 15 pick, you're going to see a really happy guy. If we took Josh Allen in the top 10, I'm going to be a little irritated that we didn't trade down instead. But Josh Allen statistically, I mean, even by Pro Football Focus, is the best pass rusher. Like, if you're looking for somebody to just get to the quarterback, Josh Allen is the best player in the draft for just purely getting to the quarterback and creating pressures.
Yeah.
So actually, I can't even lie. If we took Josh Allen with a top 10 pick and Dalton Risner in the second as a right tackle, you're going to see a really happy man. I'm actually not even upset. I would love Josh Allen, actually. I mean, I would be ecstatic.
Too, but, you know,
he's literally Lorenzo Carter, but better. Like, he's literally.
But I was just going to say, pairing him up with Carter.
That's what I want to do.
You got the run stuffers of Hill and Tomlinson.
That's what I mean. Look, if you think about it, we got B.J. Hill, we got Dalvin Tomlinson right there in the center, and we have whoever our other end is going to be, just stuffing the run. And we got Josh Allen, Lorenzo Carter focusing on getting to the quarterback. That's a very, very young defensive front seven. That's going to be pretty good. In terms of pure
and
talent,
underpaid,
and very,
and
very
we're gonna have
underpaid.
a lot of money.
They're gonna be very young, nothing against the cap. The more I'm even thinking about that, I would love Josh Allen, Dalton Risner in the second. Wow, I can't even. I would be a
trade
very happy
man. Bro. Take
exactly.
OV off
Trade
the
Olivia Vernon. Find a team to take him for maybe a third-round pick or something like that. You know, get rid of that contract, replace him with a very young and more talented Josh Allen. You're going to see a happy J-Sack, I'll be honest.
Kerry Wynn is committed. I've seen spunk in this kid for the past couple years. Yeah. Kerry Wynn can play at this level. It's just the fact that he was with the team and what did he have? 2 different defensive coordinators in 3 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, this kid, once he gets his head right, you add him in the mix with the line and the linebackers.
Yeah,
that's what we need. We need to go back to smash mouth football, knocking people in the mouth like LT days.
That's definitely my opinion, though. I definitely think that that's the main problem with this team is just getting to the quarterback in depth. You know, if we get to the quarterback, our corners don't have to, they don't have to cover for so long. If we can get to the quarterback, it just solves a lot of things for your defense. So I'm pretty excited. For the draft, I think this draft is loaded on defensive talent, and I'm really excited for that. I think the interior draft class is also pretty loaded in this year's draft. Like in my opinion, what I consider to be some of our top 2 problems, not our top 2 problems, but like I think our top 3 problems. I think our top 3 problems on this team is quarterback, offensive line, and defense, defensive depth, and that's not in any order, by the way. And I think 2 of those problems could easily be solved in this year's draft. And then the next year's draft, we could solve the quarterback problem, in my opinion. Or I would actually be 100% happy with signing Teddy Bridgewater in this year and the free agency and just investing heavily into the offensive line and defense in this year's draft. In my opinion, I think Teddy Bridgewater fits Pat Shurmur's scheme almost to a T. And I would love to see.
Well, he played for Shurmur, didn't he? I mean, for 2 years.
Yeah, right? I think he did. I'm not sure if he was offensive coordinator at that time. Was he offensive coordinator at that time?
Quarterbacks coach something.
Something like that. Yeah, but I would actually like that. I would be happy with that.
You know, it's the Giants. It's been live or die by Eli for so long.
Spencer Pulley. It's not Puller. It's Spencer Pulley is who you're trying to say. It's good for us. Just need a right tackle. Spencer Pulley is not good. I don't know what the hell you're thinking.
We need cornerbacks.
Spencer Pulley is not good. We need a right tackle. We need a center. I would not mind replacing Jamon Brown. I've only seen him play once, and he had a decent game. I don't understand. People are acting like John Brown came in and had one good game against the Buccaneers, and people were acting like we got a right guard. People, like, calm down. Let's see him against the Eagles tomorrow. I mean, let's see him against the Eagles before you start making up your mind.
I bet you Corey Coleman
or Jamon Brown
Coleman catches a touchdown.
Dude, Manny, you need to shut up about Jordan Wyatt, dude. I'm gonna give you a timeout. I've seen you can stop spamming Jordan Wyatt's name in the chat, man. Come on, I got it.
I see it, Jordan Wyatt.
Yeah,
he sounds like he's from New Mexico.
I'm gonna have to give you a timeout, bro. Stop spamming that. But
listen, I'd like to address the issue at DB.
Yeah.
Because we got rid of Eli Apple. And like I said on the last show, Jenkins' cap number and salary is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking the Giants are going to try to dump him off, unload him, and who do we have? We got Sam Beale, who we really don't know what he can do. I mean, we're going to have to draft a DB high in this round, in this draft. You know, there's a couple.
Actually, you don't have to draft one high. There's a cornerback that's going to fall by, which actually by Pro Football Focus standards is actually the best cornerback in this draft. His name is Jamal Dean. He's a big physical cornerback.
I like that last name.
He's a press man. Yeah, of course you do. He's a press man cover corner. I think he's the best corner in this draft. So does Pro Football Focus. I think he's the best corner in this draft too. But you go watch some of this guy's tape. He's a physical press man corner. He's probably going to slip because nobody thinks about him. Nobody talks about him, and he's going to slip. And I hope the Giants are watching him because I think he's going to be a really good corner we could take later. In my opinion, there's so many good players in this draft that you could take later in the round because people are looking at people like Grady Williams, DeAndre Baker. I'm sorry, actually, DeAndre Baker is the best corner in this draft. I'm sorry, I think Jamal Dean is number 2 corner in this draft. But people are looking at Grady Williams. They're looking at Ed Oliver, who's also crazily overrated. They're looking at Devin Bush, who's also overrated. And all three of those players, in my opinion, they're not even the best player in their position. Nick Bosa is the best defensive lineman. If you're talking about interior, then it's Cleveland Farrell. If you're talking about linebacker, then it's easily Dakota Allen. If you're talking about corner, it's DeAndre Baker and then Jamal Dean. And all three of those players, besides Cleveland Farrell, Dakota Allen and Devin Bush, in my opinion, are the 2 best linebackers in this draft. They're going to fall because nobody talks about
prospects?
They're like they have first-round talent. They're like second, third-round prospects. Nobody's talking about them. And then you got somebody like Jamal Dean, who, in my opinion, another low first-round, high second-round talent. Actually, it might even be a mid-first-round talent. It's probably going to fall to the 3rd round because nobody talks about these guys. But if you go and watch their tape or you watch the Pro Football Focus grades, these guys are killing it. They're the best in their position. Nobody's talking about them. That's why I want us to get that high first-round pick and just trade it down or take Josh Allen with it. And I'd be happy with Josh Allen.
There's more Jordan Wyatt talk than Josh Allen talk.
I'm seeing that right now. And Dalton Risner is the best pass. And you know, Pro Football Focus has they have Dalton Risner as graded as the best pass protector in this draft class. You know, that's with Jonah Williams and Greg Little, who everybody's crazy high on. But Dalton Risner has been graded as the best pass protector. And I think that's our main problem at right tackle. I would love to take him in the 2nd round, plug him into right tackle, and boom. You know, maybe take Max Sharping, who plays left tackle, who I think should play guard, put him in at right guard across Will Hernandez. I think you have a young, talented offensive line besides Nate Solder. I think you have a core offensive line here that you can build on for years.
We really dug ourselves in with that Nate Solder contract.
Yeah, we did.
Because, I mean, Bill Belichick's not stupid. You know, he wasn't going to match that contract.
Yeah.
He let him come back to Big Blue, and everybody should know that Bill Belichick was our defensive coordinator. We won our Super Bowls early. So if Bill Belichick's letting a player go, that should say something. Like, this dude ain't worth that much money.
Yeah. Oh, and Dean, by the way, Nikki Andy says hi.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Nikki Andy, what's up? Happy birthday to her boyfriend, Dan. I think he's like Dan. 95, 96 or something like that.
Happy birthday. Wow. Live long, man. Live long.
Still get it up.
Was there anyone else better than Solder? No, but just because Solder was the best player doesn't mean you have to reach for somebody who's even that worth the money. And here's the crazy part. Here's the crazy part. Actually, is I think we could easily fix the offensive line next year, because in the free agency, Darrell Williams is going to be a free agent. I mean, we're going to have to give him a lot of money, but he's a good right tackle.
So is the dude.
He's a good right tackle.
Isn't the DN from Dallas a free agent too?
I don't care. I don't want a defensive end of the free agency. They're going to want too much. I'd rather draft because, dude, the defensive line draft class in this year's draft is so heavy. It's so stacked, deep that I'm not willing to go pick somebody up in the free agency. It's insanely stacked. This is one of the best defensive draft classes I've seen in a long time, and I can't
go on anybody's mock and the top 20 of the top 25 are
defensive linemen.
Defensive tackle. So it's like I haven't seen it like that since the year Sue came out, and who came out with Sue? Gerald McCoy or something? Yeah. I can't remember who came out with Sue.
I think Gerald McCoy came out with him.
Yeah, I think that was a good draft class, but this one's just like you can win the Super Bowl and still get a stud player, you know?
Oh, so, Mandy Brito wants to know, who do you think is the most underrated player in this draft, in your opinion? I'll let you answer that one first.
Mr. Dean.
You talking about Jamal Dean?
I'm gonna go with Mr. Dean, Mr. Jamal Dean.
I feel like you just heard about him today from me.
No, sir. We talked about Mr. Dean last week.
Did we?
Yeah, I
We're talking
said
about Jamal
I
Dean.
looked into this kid because he has my
Oh yeah,
name
you
as
did.
his
You
last
did.
name.
Yeah, I
So I
love
was like,
Jamal Dean. Physical corner, man-to-man, press
listen,
guy.
we
You can leave him
what
out
did
there
we
on an
draft
island.
Eli Apple at?
Yeah.
Didn't we take Eli Apple
First round,
at
like
like
14 or something like that, or 12.
14 or something like that?
14 or
And
12. I don't remember.
he had problems. The thing they said with Eli Apple coming out of the draft is he's too handsy. He's not good with after the 5-yard bump for
Yeah.
the 5-yard press. He's still handsy.
Yeah.
And we wasted a draft pick on him. And then we wasted a draft pick on Eric Flowers. So
Yeah.
it's like you could swing and miss on 2 first-round draft picks back to back.
Yeah.
And you can set your organization back years.
Oh, and by the way, yeah, Eli Apple he was a 10th overall pick. Thank you guys in the chat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you, man.
Flowers, 9th pick, the 9th pick, I think.
I don't remember, but
those are 2 swing and misses. That set our organization back.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you, but yeah, I think the most underrated player is Dakota Allen. I think he's easily the best linebacker in this draft, and nobody talks about him. I haven't heard a word about him. The only people I've heard talk about him is Pro Football Focus. That's because they always find those sleeper players. But watching a lot of tape on Dakota Allen, I think he's a very special player. I think Jamal Dean is definitely one of the most underrated players in this draft, but I think Dakota Allen, I have to say, just for all the linebacker hype that's going around, he isn't getting any talk. And
linebackers and corners really draft anyway. It's all about the combine heroes, the offensive linemen, the quarterbacks, and the skill position players. That's really, you know what I mean? When's the last time there was super hype about a DB coming out? Yeah. Jalen Ramsey, maybe? But before him, who? Yeah, but before him, who?
Yeah,
I mean, it's to be an island corner. It's very tough, especially with the league changing and the new rules where the DBs can't, like you blow on the wide receiver, you're gonna get a penalty. So having a corner is only bettering your defensive line by giving them more time to get to the quarterback. So a D lineman and a cornerback are best friends for each other, because they're holding the other spots down. In my opinion, if you have a great secondary and a decent defensive line, you can be just as good as having a great defensive line and a decent secondary.
Yeah.
Because one hand washes the other. But, we haven't had a good secondary. I can't even remember, bro.
Yeah. But yeah, to answer your question, Big Blue for life, Tyler Biadads, I think he is declaring, not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure he is. But let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, and it is what kind of impact do you think Sam Beale is going to have next year, if any? What do you expect from him coming out of I forgot what his college was, damn it. But yeah, what do you expect coming out of Sam Beale?
You go first. Let me hear what you guys say.
Okay. In my opinion, I think Sam Beale, coming out of Western Michigan, by the way, I'm sorry. I watched this tape. I thought he was a good player. I thought he had second-round talent on him, and a lot of people don't know the reason why he wasn't able to declare for the regular draft is because he was failing school or something like that. It had to do with his grades, which I'm a little worried about. How dumb do you have to be to fail your classes when they're easily curving for you because you're a football player? Like, you got to be pretty freaking dumb. But whatever.
And you got somebody doing all your
Yeah, he took care of it. He got in there. We got him in the supplemental draft for a third-round pick. I think he was a good player. I do. I had him as a high second-round grade corner. I've seen his tape, and I think he was definitely. I think he's got promise. I thought his tape was nice. He's a really good man corner. I'm not going to sit here and say he's got that island potential cornerback status, but he's definitely. I think he could easily be a good, solid number 2 corner.
Now here's this: do you think he was worth giving up a third-round pick for? If he
I
pans
do.
out,
I do think.
Player,
no, even all right. Look, even if he doesn't pan out. In hindsight, you can't talk about picks in hindsight. I hate when people do that because nobody knows what anything's going to happen. So in terms of what I think his talent was versus what we gave up, yeah, I think it was worth it. Like I said, I had him graded as a high second-round pick. So if we would have drafted him into the third round, I would have said that was a steal because I had him graded as a high second-round pick, a low first round at max. First-round pick would have been a reach. Second-round pick would have been just right, and we took him in the third. So I thought that was a good pick. It sucked that he went down for the year. I was really, really excited to see Sam Beale play. I think he's got a good amount of talent.
He went down early too.
Yeah, he did.
But I'm hoping, from what the tape that I've saw, he did, and his numbers aren't popping off the charts from his college career either. Even though he played Western Michigan or Eastern Michigan.
Western
Yeah,
Michigan.
but you can't always judge a cornerback by the amount of interceptions he has. Like when Darrell
he
Revis
wasn't a turnover machine, but man,
no,
but here's the thing:
was that
quarterbacks didn't target him. He didn't get targeted because he was constantly shutting down.
But that's just as good.
That's the thing, though. People don't understand that. It's the same thing with defensive pass rushers. I heard a while ago before the season started, somebody was saying that we had to get rid of Vernon because he has no sacks. Like, he barely gets any sacks. I'm like, yeah, but and before this year, Vernon was playing very solid when he was on the field. He was getting pressures. He was constantly stopping
a lot
the run.
Of tackles behind the line too.
Before this year, Vernon was actually, in my opinion, I thought he was almost worth the money. And people are like, oh, he's got no sacks. I'm like, you can't just look at sack numbers. You got to look at pressures. You got to look at how many times he's in the backfield. How many times he's hit somebody at the line. You got to look at what quarterback hits. It's not just about sacks. And a lot of people just seem to understand that. But yeah, to wrap it up, I think Sam Beale definitely, he's got some talent on him. But
we have yet to see. Hopefully, we're going to be surprised next year with him.
Let's go and move on to the next topic, which is a little overused, but I think it's still a warranted topic to talk about, and is looking back at this entire season, was Saquon, are you still willing to say Saquon Barkley was the right pick? Record and all.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. How many dudes has he over? I mean, I've seen him do moves that I've only seen Barry Sanders do. I mean, this dude looks like a point guard on a football field. The kid is tremendous, and he can only get better, barring injury, which, let me knock on wood, but he's the best running back I've seen since Barry Sanders, in my opinion. And I'm 36 years old, so, I mean, I've seen Barry Sanders play.
But, even a good running back, Barry Sanders didn't ever win in the Super Bowl.
He had no line either.
Yeah, but he didn't win a Super Bowl.
Line.
Look at a lot of great running backs that didn't win a Super Bowl. I can think of a ton of great quarterbacks who more than likely always won Super Bowl.
Marino, Archie Manning.
Yeah, I mean, those guys. Yeah, but here's the thing, though. When you think of great quarterbacks who didn't win a Super Bowl, you can remember them because they're so rare. A great running backs who didn't win a Super Bowl or dime a dozen, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm just playing devil's advocate right now because I was a huge guy for Saquon Barkley, and I still am. I think he's already the best running back in the league. Say what you will about me for thinking that, but I think a lot of the criticism people had for him, I thought was the stupidest criticism. I thought the reason why people were saying we shouldn't take him, unless, in my opinion, unless you were arguing for a quarterback over Saquon Barkley, then your argument had no value to me about not taking Saquon Barkley. Like, if you were trying to tell me,
because I thought Eli still had it. I know.
But what I'm saying is, for people unless you were arguing for a quarterback over Saquon, then your argument had no value at all. Because if you were trying to argue that Saquon wasn't worthy of the second overall pick, then you were just wrong. He was easily the best player in the draft. If you take away positional importance, he was easily the best running back in the draft. And if you try to tell me that
everybody said it too, from Terrell Davis to Mike Mayock, everybody had Saquon as their top stud on the board, and it shows in his tape. It's shown in his play. I mean, this conversation about was Saquon worth the number 2 pick. I think after last game alone should put it to rest, but there's still some negative people out there.
And a lot of things I hated hearing about people was saying, "Oh, Saquon Barkley can't run in between the tackles. He can't take dirty yardage," and that's got to be one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life.
He falls forward every.
I know. He falls forward every time. Here's a little bit of stats here from the Buccaneers game. Saquon Barkley averaged 4.59 yards after contact per attempt. Okay, Saquon Barkley rushed for more than any running back during Week 11 with 142 rushing yards. He rushed for more yards than any running back in Week 11. Here's the really fun part, though. Saquon Barkley rushed for 100. Here's the fun part, though. Saquon Barkley rushed for 142 yards. Guess how much of those yards were after contact? 124 yards were after contact.
That many.
124 yards out of 142 yards that Saquon Barkley ran for were after contact. That's phenomenal. Crazy. You're not going to sit here and tell me Saquon Barkley can't run in between the tackles. He can't shed those hands, because Saquon Barkley has been doing everything you could ask of from a running back.
Wait till he grasps the system more.
Exactly.
He's still learning
He's a rookie.
system.
He hasn't even had a year under his pocket yet. And in my opinion, he's already the best running back in the league. He's running through people. He's running around people. He's running through arm tackles. I mean, I can literally think of the fact that I can think of every single time Saquon Barkley has been tackled from the first guy just shows how often he doesn't get tackled from the first guy.
Did you see Peyton Barber light Riley up in that game though?
Yeah, I did.
Dude, Peyton Barber steamrolled Riley.
That was hilarious.
Oh, it was like going to a monster truck rally.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
And just watching Bigfoot crush cars.
Yeah.
Like Riley was getting imploded. I mean, that's another position we got to worry about.
Yeah.
Are we going to sign Collins? Do we draft a safety? Because, I mean, Collins can't do it all. He's in the box. He's playing cover.
Actually, I don't know what you're talking about. Curtis Riley had a great game. In fact, actually,
yeah, but he got plowed.
Okay, by one play though, just because he got trucked one play doesn't take away the fact that he did anything horrible. In fact, if you go look at the Pro Football Focus grades, his pass coverage was phenomenal that game. If you go look at if you go look at the Pro Football Focus grades, they think we should be playing Curtis Riley more because when he's on the field, he's been very productive.
Yeah, well, I can't afford Pro Football Focus, so.
I mean, I don't know, but we don't have to afford it. They talk about it on their YouTube channel and stuff like that too.
I'm just saying he really got lit up. Like,
yeah,
Barber lit him up.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we need to get another safety. If anything, Curtis Riley is shown to play very well.
No, we still.
It's the fact that they keep throwing Michael Thomas out there along with Landon Collins instead of putting Curtis Riley out there when it should have been Curtis Riley out there. But let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. Is if we do draft Justin Herbert, if we do, does he need to sit for a year under Eli and we stick with Eli for another year, or does he need to get thrown out there now because we cannot take another year of Eli Manning?
I'm all about the way the Packers worked with Aaron Rodgers. You let him sit under a perennial Pro Bowl Hall of Fame quarterback. Cause I mean, it's a dime a dozen. You throw a quarterback in there, and how many have successfully done it their first year? Peyton Manning, I believe, 3-13 through like 29 picks being thrown in there. Not a lot of quarterbacks are successful right off the rip because the college game and the pro game, there's two different speeds. And a lot of players talk about when you watch interviews and stuff, and they're like, what's the most the most different thing from college to pros? And they said the speed of the game.
Yeah.
So and now you look, Sam Darnold was looking decent in the beginning of the year, and now he's throwing picks all over the place. It took Jared Goff a year. I mean, when's the last time a rookie quarterback came in and just? I mean, RG3 killed it his rookie year, but then he blew his knee out. But I mean, nobody really comes in rookie year and just balls out.
Sure, Andrew Luck.
Yeah, and then look at he hasn't played,
or Baker Mayfield.
Well, Baker Mayfield got 3 wins, right?
I don't care about how much wins he's got. Winning is a team effort. That's why I hate when people play that bullshit. Oh, how many wins does this player have? Like, oh, I didn't know this player was out there on defense and offense doing everything. Yeah. Like, winning's a team effort. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah. And Baker Mayfield's stats don't show how well he's been playing. If you've been watching Baker Mayfield and you watch him and you know what to look for in a player, like you actually know how to scout properly, Baker Mayfield easily was the best quarterback in last year's draft, and he's easily proving it in this year. I mean, he's been playing great, in my opinion. I mean, he's been playing phenomenal.
Dan Marino couldn't catch a break in Miami. It was breaking records.
Yeah, but
you deal with the hands you dealt.
If we do draft Justin Herbert, no, he needs to start immediately. Eli needs to be gone because
really,
yeah, and it's not because I think that's what's best for him. I think that's because what's best for the franchise. I mean, if Eli starts for another year and Justin Herbert, here's the thing about this, right? Every team says they're going to sit their rookie quarterback. It never fucking happens. Baker Mayfield was in less than 4 weeks. Sam Darnold was in like a week and a half. Look at Josh Rosen's in. They started Josh Allen. Look what happened last year with Deshaun Watson. Like as soon as your team starts to lose, the whole fan base starts to cry like little babies, and they start calling for the rookie quarterback to come in because they're fucking idiots. They're idiots. Like, do I think in the perfect world, yeah, I would sit Justin Herbert in a perfect world, but I know it's not going to happen because we're going to start losing again, and all the fan bases are going to start crying like little babies. And they're going to be forced.
We've been losing for years, though. We've been losing for years.
Yeah, but the New York fan base is some of the biggest babies in the NFL. I mean,
I'll admit
some of the biggest babies in the NFL. And that's the thing.
I
But here's the
wait
thing,
7 months for football season, and then just to come and see him drop.
I mean, look, I'm not saying I want to see us lose. What I'm saying is that as soon as we start losing, the rookie quarterback's going to come in because the coaches are going to get frustrated. The fan base are going to start crying like babies. And I'm not saying you can't be upset about losing. What I'm saying is don't act like you're happy about benching, sitting your rookie quarterback. And then once you start losing, start crying for him to come out. Because then you're just contradicting yourself and you're an idiot. If you're going to sit him, you sit him. Doesn't matter if you guys go 0-16, you sit that rookie quarterback. If that was your plan, you sit him. If you think he needs to sit for a year to groom, you let him groom. You let it happen. That's just how it happened. But teams aren't. It's not even teams. It's the fan bases are too impatient. They're too impatient.
And I think the fan base has some sort of influence on upper management and coaching as well. Because
of course they have an influence. They're the ones who makes the money. If they're not buying tickets,
step up.
Of course the fan base has an influence, dude, because they're the ones who buy the tickets. Without the tickets, then the NFL's gone. I mean, it's just how it happens. I mean, I'm not saying we have to draft Justin Herbert. I'm watching Justin Herbert's tape, and I'm going back and forth between, okay, he might have to be the draft pick, or no, we got to pass on him. Like every once in a while, the thing with Justin Herbert is he's so inconsistent, but he makes these throws that are just so special, and you're like, man, if he could just start pulling it off more and more and more, he's easily the guy. So some parts of me, sometimes I'm watching Justin Herbert's tape, and I'm like,
Sam Bradford.
This is the move, and I'm like, this is the guy, but he's too inconsistent. I think ultimately I have come to the conclusion that I'm a no on Justin Herbert, and as I'm saying that, somebody, Logan Smith, says, why don't we wait another year and get a QB like Tua or something else? Here's the thing about that.
You talk about that a lot.
Here's the thing about that, Logan. If you're hearing the podcast ever, you hear me talk about Tua Tagovailoa, and I am a huge advocate for getting him, not this year, but the following year, obviously, when he does declare. But here's the thing why that's not going to work. In a perfect world, I want that to happen too. In a perfect world, I would love to tank for another year and grab the best quarterback I've seen come out of the draft in the last few years. I would love to. But the reason why that's not going to work is because fan bases, once again, like I just said, are too impatient. They want to win, now. They don't understand that you can't win every single year because football fans are just huge babies. I mean, let's be honest. They are.
But we are spoiled as Giants fans.
They're a little spoiled. We're spoiled as hell.
We have 4 Super Bowl rings. Look at the Eagles just won their first ring.
Dude, no, Tua's not a game manager. If you watch Tua Tagovailoa's tape, he's way more than a game manager. You watch his tape and you see he makes throws. Come on. I love you, Ryan, but you're speaking some uneducated stuff right now, dude. Go watch that guy's tape. And he makes throws. He makes special throws. He makes very, very special throws. The only other quarterback I see in college doing those are Kyle Murray. Kyle Murray and Tua Tagovailoa are 2 Ps, and that's it. And there's no other quarterback that I even think is remotely close to their talent. Jake Fromm is okay. I think he's overrated. But Tua Tagovailoa is way more than a game manager. You go watch that guy's tape, and you watch how accurate he is consistently. He doesn't face pressure often. I'll give him that. I'd like to see him under pressure more. He doesn't face pressure often because he's got a great offensive line. But even when he does, he sticks in the pocket, and he makes phenomenal throws every single time. Tua Tagovailoa, there's multiple games.
Our offensive line before he gets
here. Exactly, and there's multiple.
But we'd have to tank 2 years in a row, though.
Yeah, I know.
Is that possible?
Yeah, I don't know. But Ryan, I don't think Fromm is that good. You think you want to talk about a game manager, go look at Jake Fromm. But, I mean, if you go watch his throws, I mean, even when he's under duress, he stays in the pocket and he makes perfect throws. I mean, there's been multiple games this season in college football where Tua Tagovailoa has had more touchdowns than he's had incompletions. They take him out after the first half all the time because they just don't need him anymore. He comes in, scores, and that's it because he's just too good. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa is just a special talent.
How tall is he?
I think he's like 6'2", something like that.
Well, so Dwayne Haskins is horrible.
Dwayne Haskins is ass. He's good when he's not under pressure, but if you go look at the Pro Football Focus numbers, when he gets under pressure, he's one of the worst quarterbacks in college football when he's under pressure. I'm talking about one of the worst. He might be the worst quarterback in football when he's under pressure.
He's a mini Eli.
You draft Dwayne Haskins and you put him under any pressure. I mean, you put a small hand in that guy's face and the ball is gone. It's nowhere near the receiver. He's horrible under pressure. I cannot stand a quarterback who's not good under pressure. If you could guarantee Dwayne Haskins had a perfect pocket every play, he'd be like a top 3 quarterback in this year's draft. If you could guarantee a perfect pocket for him every play.
We'll give Eli a perfect pocket every play. We won't even need to have this conversation.
Yeah, well, no quarterback's ever going to get a perfect pocket. Tyree Jackson's
Nope.
not bad, but I think the thing about Tyree Jackson is I think a lot of people underrate him, but all his fans overrate him, if that makes any sense at all. So, like, all his fans overrate him, but everybody else underrates him. You know?
What about what's his face from the Ravens? He rushed the ball 27 times.
That was a horrible card. That was a horrible.
As a
quarterback.
27 rushes.
I like
There's
Drew Lock
no
better
way.
than Greer. Will Greer, I absolutely cannot stand Drew Lock. No, I think Will Greer is easily the second best quarterback in this year's draft. I think he shows poise in the pocket. He's great. I mean, he's phenomenal under pressure, and he's a huge leader. Drew Lock just got a big arm. That's about it. I mean, I'm not trying to be this guy who just goes Pro Football Focus this, Pro Football Focus this, but go look at the Pro Football Focus discussion about the quarterbacks, and you know, they dive into it pretty well about, well, pretty much. I mean, they had my opinion before I even watched their video, but Drew Lock is not better than Will Greer. You need to go watch some tape.
People are loving them.
People love Drew Lock. I don't understand the hype of Drew Lock. He's so overrated. He's got a big arm. That's about it.
Well, you know what? The quarterbacks,
Lamar Jackson
like
start
diamond
was
rings.
horrible.
Everybody looks to the quarterbacks as the top tier prospects in every draft.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why teams like make the mistakes like the Paxton Lynches and the quarterbacks that are taken in the first round. Just because you need a quarterback doesn't mean you got to draft them in the first round and then set your franchise back even more. Like how many? I mean, more first round quarterbacks don't pan out than do. You know what I mean?
That's because people reach
in my opinion, the Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger draft class was probably the best quarterback draft class that I've seen in my life. I haven't seen another draft class like that of quarterbacks that have produced.
Eli's not even actually that good. Eli has never really been that good.
Well, he's got 2 rings.
Yeah, but the rings are a team effort, man. Stop saying 2 rings like Eli is like the guy. I mean, it's a team effort. In both those Super Bowl years,
on that sideline,
yeah, in both those,
could have put that ball in there.
Okay. Eli made a few. Did Eli make a few good throws in the playoffs in the Super Bowl?
Of course.
Yeah, he did. But overall, Eli over his entire career has been average. He's been average.
Yeah.
He's shown hints of being a good quarterback, but the best thing I can give Eli Manning was that he was average. His entire career, he was average. Does he make small, good plays in the playoffs? Yeah, he does. You know, is that all I can ask from a quarterback? I guess. But you're not going to sit here and tell me, oh, Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. He's not a Hall of Famer. Not even close.
You don't think
Ben
he's going to make the Hall of Fame? Are you serious, bro?
I'm not. No, I think he'll make it. I don't think he's good enough to be in the Hall of Fame. I wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame. I think he'll go into it because people overrate Eli Manning.
Well, he's definitely not a first ballot, but
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer at all. Why do we put in players who are average just because they have some achievements in the Hall of Fame? No, if you put in people in the Hall of Fame because of their skill, off of their skill, Eli doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame.
Ray Guy's in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Fucking football.
I don't care about Ray Guy. I don't care about him. I'm talking about Eli Manning. And you look at all the other quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame, they're all better than Eli. If you're going to put Eli Manning...
His dad's in the Hall of Fame and never had a winning season, bro.
That's because he was better. He was better than Eli.
His career up.
He was better.
He never had a winning season.
He was better than Eli.
Always running around. Yeah, but
Eli's the worst. I don't care about the 2 rings. I don't care about your rings. As a Giants fan, I care about the 2 rings. As an MVP candidate, I don't care if you have 2 rings. You know who else has got? You know who else has got a Super Bowl ring? David Carr. David Carr's got a ring. I don't care about his ring. I don't care how much rings you have. Tom Brady has more rings than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a way better quarterback than Tom Brady. And Tom Brady's got how many rings? 4 or 5? Aaron Rodgers only has 1. Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback. I don't care how much rings you have.
Well, if Aaron Rodgers was...
I care about your talent. In terms of talent, Eli Manning's not a Hall of Famer.
We can agree.
I love Eli. I love Eli Manning.
We can agree to
disagree. He's been my quarterback since I was a kid. But I don't think talent-wise he's a Hall of Famer. Trent Dilfer is a Hall of Famer. He doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he beat us with the Ravens in the Super Bowl. I'll never forget that game. 34-7, dude. That was just a shellacking. We even beat the Vikings in this NFC Championship that year. They had Culpepper, they had Randy Moss, Robert Smith. We beat them 41-0, and they go to the Super Bowl and get blasted 34-7. That was a terrible game to watch. any Giants fan who hasn't seen that Super Bowl, I highly recommend you figure out a way to watch it and just see how dominant that defense was that year, because I think they can hold a torch to the 85 Bears, in my opinion.
Oh, man.
I'm telling you, that defense was nasty. And Reed, they had everybody. But go ahead, J-Zach. Say what's on your mind, brother.
I don't know.
Tell me how you really feel, bro. I can sense some frustration.
No.
What's going on?
Just think about this next topic. I'm kind of getting my mindset ready for this next topic. It's about like if we need to keep Eli Manning next year. If we keep him for another, considering we don't take a quarterback in the draft, what's the move? You know, in my opinion,
we have to keep him.
I don't. I want Eli to either want to be like, look, dude, we're either going to cut you or you can retire. You can pick one. That's what I want to do.
He's going to retire. He'll go to Jacksonville and win a Super Bowl.
Go ahead. Go win a Super Bowl. I don't care. He's not going to win a Super Bowl with our team. That's for sure. And I want to take Teddy Bridgewater in the free agency. Let him be our bridge quarterback for Tua. Or if he balls out, then we got a quarterback. You know, if he balls out, we got a quarterback. If
that was a horrendous knee injury.
If he's decent at best,
he suffered a terrible knee injury.
Yeah, but
it's hard to come back from that.
It didn't stop his talent. If you watch him in the preseason, he looked great in the preseason.
Yeah, he looked good.
He looked real good. Actually, he looked better than Sam Darnold. He looked better than Sam Darnold. Why
isn't he playing right now?
Because he's backed up for Drew Brees, an MVP candidate. That's why he's not playing. Because the Saints traded for him and they have him as their backup in case Drew Brees goes down. That's why he's not playing. Not because he's not good.
Saints are smart. Saints are smart.
They're smart. They got themselves a good backup quarterback. He's not playing not because he's not good, but because Drew Brees is MVP candidate.
Quarterbacks of all time.
You want to talk about a Hall of Famer? That's Drew Brees, a Hall of Famer
with one ring.
I don't care about rings, dude. They don't mean anything. Rings don't mean shit. Aaron Rodgers only has one ring. He's the best quarterback of all time. Aaron Rodgers has one ring.
Rodgers?
Yeah, best quarterback of all time.
Better than Joe Montana?
Easily better than Joe Montana.
What are you smoking, bro? Are you smoking some?
Whatever I am, you should start taking it because it's pretty good.
I think I need some.
Aaron Rodgers, easily. If we're talking about pure talent, there's not another quarterback besides Aaron Rodgers.
Young.
Yeah, he's good. But if you're talking about pure talent, there's nobody but Aaron Rodgers. If you're talking about talent, there's nobody but Rodgers, man.
Payne in this prime.
Hey, I'm gonna give you a little.
Dan Marino. Joe Montana.
Let me tell you some fun stats. Let me tell you a fun stat for Aaron Rodgers. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Hang Glider Man. Aaron Rodgers.
So overrated. That's the dumbest thing I've heard all day. Ryan, I love you to death. That's the dumbest thing I've heard all day.
Like he's
Aaron Rodgers is overrated. This is the dumbest thing I've heard all day. And I love you, Ryan, but that's the dumbest thing I've heard all day. Let me tell you something about Aaron Rodgers, okay? Aaron Rodgers, for every interception he throws, he throws 4 touchdowns. You know what the next quarterback up is? There's no other quarterback in history who throws 3 touchdowns for every interception. You know who number 2 is behind Aaron Rodgers? It's Tom Brady. Tom Brady only throws 2.75 touchdowns for every interception. There's not another quarterback in the world ever who has thrown 3-1. Aaron Rodgers throws 4-1. I don't know another quarterback who does that. If you literally can't watch Aaron Rodgers play and understand that on the move, the way he extends his plays, the way on the run, he can deliver dots across like 80 yards down. I mean, like 60 yards down the field.
He can throw from the right side of the field all the way to the left.
I don't care about how far he can throw. I care about how when he throws it that far, it's always on target. Aaron Rodgers is always on target.
Hey, Jamarcus Russell threw the ball on his yards on target. Where's he at right now? At a Chick-fil-A?
Did you seriously just compare Aaron Rodgers to Jamarcus Russell?
I'm just saying, just because you could throw the freaking ball and hit the freaking target doesn't make
Ryan, you know why Aaron Rodgers only has 13 game-winning drives? Because they're never behind with Aaron Rodgers. That's the dumbest stat you can pull up. That's the dumbest stat you can pull out. Saying he only has 13 game-winning drives. That's the dumbest stat you can pull. That doesn't degrade his quarterback status at all. That doesn't degrade him. It's because he's always ahead.
Because he has a great supporting cast. He always had a great trio of receivers.
What are you talking about? He has average.
No running back.
He has 3 average receivers.
No running.
He has 3 average receivers that he makes phenomenal.
He has to throw the ball every time.
Yeah, and you know what? He throws it every time on target, and he throws it on target. He makes freaking Randall Cobb look like a Pro Bowler. Exactly, because Aaron Rodgers is that good. He elevates every receiver around him.
I wouldn't go as far to say he's the best of all time, but I'll give him maybe top 5. But I mean, there's so many other. I mean, I'm not even gonna touch this topic with you because I'm just gonna get aggravated. I grew up in the 80s, bro, and I mean, even friggin' what's his name for the Raiders? The Raiders quarterback. What was his face? I thought was a better quarterback than him. What's his name? The Raiders quarterback in the late 70s.
I don't know, man. You're gonna be the only person here who would know that.
Yeah. But I mean, you got Peyton Manning, who broke every statistical record before Drew Brees. You have Drew Brees, you have Tom Brady, and then you have Hall of Famers like Steve Young, like Joe Montana, Dan Marino. I mean, you can't really put. And the first 4 years of his career, he rode the pine, so he had a better understanding of the NFL coming in to start his career than any of these quarterbacks did. They were thrown into the fire. He was gradually put onto the scene. So, and he had Brett Favre in front of him and a great offensive line. So he learned from one of the greatest quarterbacks. He learned the playbook. He knew what every play he had to do. And he just used his athletic ability and his knowledge. You know, it takes a while to grasp the playbook. So yeah, I mean, I'll give you this one. I'll chalk it up to you. But he is by far not even in my top 5 of all time.
That's insane. That's crazy to me. But let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. And it's if Eli stays, do you think the Giants will ask him to help to rework the contract? And do you think he'd be open to do it?
He's done it plenty of times. I think he would definitely do it. I mean, the dude wants to make some money, right?
I mean, no, he'd have to make less money in order to stay. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. But if he wouldn't agree, they would just cut him, and he'd just be working at Toyota selling cars.
No, he wouldn't be. He's so, you know how rich he is. That's like the dumbest thing ever. Come on. I mean, I don't think he'd take a pay cut. I think if Eli Manning was open to taking a pay cut, he would have done it already.
He did it twice in his career already.
I think he would. I'm talking about right now. He would have done it already.
For Plexico, he did. I think he did it. He did it for Plexico, and I think he did it for Hakeem Nicks too. But I'm not 100%.
He's so overpaid. It just blows my mind how overpaid he is.
What is he making? Like 20?
There is literally backups right now that I think is better than Eli Manning. There are backups that I think at this moment right now are better players than Eli Manning.
Behind
He's
our
going to make
offensive
$11 million next year. $11 million.
It's better than 25. What's Rodgers making?
Oh no, actually, I think he's going to make 23. I don't know.
Yeah, he's
up there. No, not talking about Rodgers. Talking about Eli. I think he's actually going to make 23.
No, if we pay Eli here, then that's awesome, because I think he's like almost double that. I think 11 might be just his cap hit because his contract, because he restructured.
No, it's 23. No, he's going to be taking 23 this year. That's horrible. He's worth half of that.
They backweighed his contract.
He's going to be working 11 over the next 2 years. But no, that's horrible. No.
But kid, isn't
there
some sort of way?
No,
but there's some way, like if they cut him before camp starts or before camp ends, that his contract doesn't go against the cap. There's like some weird like thing where they can bring you into camp and at least see what you got. And they have till like June or July or whatever,
something like that,
till the end of July, and they can cut you. They still have to pay you the salary, but you don't go against the cap.
I'm with you, buddy. If he's making 23, bump that, sign Teddy B. I'm with you, man. We don't only eat $6 million in dead money, and yeah, I mean, Kiz Uffy, I don't know how to say his name. He even said it. We're only going to eat $6 million in dead money if you cut Eli. He's gone in my opinion. I love Eli Manning. He was my favorite quarterback of all time at the moment, but I'm sorry, you're cut, dude. Like at the end, I'm sorry. Like as soon as I'm available to cut you, I'm cutting you. Like you're gone. It's not even a question.
He's just been there for so long.
I'll ask for like a day and a half to see if anybody will give me anything for you, and if they won't, you're cut. Like you will be gone off the team.
It's just like it's it's like he's been there for so long. It's like going home. Your mom's gonna have fresh dinner on the table when you get out of work. It's like it's gonna be different watching the Giants with a different quarterback.
I think we get different in a good way.
We're more scared of the transformation of the team and not having Eli as the doofy face of the organization than we are of actually pulling the trigger and doing it. Because that's all we've known since 04 was his, play the Eli Scramble song. The Eli Scramble and Out the Pocket's gone. Yeah, play that.
All right. This is Eli's song right here.
Oh. And he makes a 3-yard touchdown run in 7 seconds.
That's a good one. All right, let me ask you this. I'll go first because I already know about mine. But if we don't draft Eli Manning, what's the quarterback plan for 2019? In my opinion, it's easy. You sign Teddy Bridgewater. He's a West Coast quarterback. Let's see how he works under our West Coast offense.
What about Jameis Winston?
I would rather die.
He loves Uber drivers.
There's
a lot of Ubers in New York, dude.
I would rather die. If Jameis Winston comes here, I'm gonna be a Colts fan.
Suck it out of his fingers.
Like, I'm switching to the Colts if he comes here.
God.
I'm going straight to the Colts if Jameis Winston becomes the Giants quarterback.
Oh gosh.
Or the Texans. I'm going to them. Yeah, but I think Teddy Bridgewater is easily the move. If I'm the GM, if I'm GM of this team for the next 2 years, taking in the free agency. I'm cutting Eli Manning, right? I'm signing Darrell Williams. I'm signing Teddy Bridgewater, right? And I'm running with that. And then in the draft, I'm taking Josh Allen in the second round. I'm taking Dalton Risner, and I'm taking Max Sharping. I'm taking Jamal Dean, Dakota Allen, and then I'm playing as good as I can. And doesn't matter if we win the Super Bowl, if we have the 32nd overall pick in the next year's draft, I'm trading up as high as I can. I will get rid of almost anything I have to get Tua Tagovailoa, and boom, I think I've set my team up for success for the next 10 years.
Didn't Ned say something last week about us getting another additional 4th rounder? We
something
already
like
have.
I think we're going to be getting another.
So we
4th
might have
rounder or
3 4th-round picks.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we can use those for trade capital. Those might.
That's what I'm saying. 3 4th-round picks. But what I'm worried about is
Duran. Why would we need an offensive coordinator? Pat Shurmur calls our plays. Honestly, like when your head coach is basically the guy who calls your plays, you almost don't even need an offensive coordinator. Like your offensive coordinator does nothing.
How good that would go?
Yeah, like literally, our offensive coordinator is nothing because we have Pat Shurmur. Like Max Shula just stands there and talks to the teammate. Like his job is to go get a Coke for Pat Shurmur and to tell the team to keep doing their job and be good. That's his job.
You don't see Belichick calling plays, do you?
Yeah, but he works everything else.
It's all about your support system, man. Support but you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants go on a run and run off.
Honestly, here's the thing: if the Giants, dude, how much
I wouldn't put it past them, bro.
Here's the thing, though: the most it would be the most Giants thing in the world if they out of nowhere ran the table and then won the Super Bowl. Like if we won the Super Bowl, like if we ran the table and won the Super Bowl, it would be the most New York Giants thing you could possibly do. You know what I'm saying? That just screams us. It just screams us.
Would Eli be a whole quarterback for you?
Hold on.
And won a Super Bowl.
No.
Would Eli be in the Hall of Fame with 3 rings?
No. Do I think? Hold on. Do I think he's gonna go in? Yeah.
No.
Would I put him in myself? No.
Yes. If we run the table and win the Super Bowl, you still wouldn't put Eli in the Hall of Fame.
If it was up to me, no. If it was up to me, I don't care about his rings. I care about his talent, and he's not that talented. He's not as talented as somebody like Aaron Rodgers, somebody that's like Tom Brady or Drew Brees.
Well, if we're running the table, gotta be on shoulder.
Do I think he's gonna go to the Super Bowl? Yeah, I think if Eli retires this year, I think he'll go to the Super Bowl just because he's got 2 rings.
The Hall of Fame, you mean?
I mean the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry, yeah. I think he'll go into the Hall of Fame.
Super Bowl.
But I'm saying, it would be the most Giants thing in the world if we somehow ran the table and won the Super Bowl. I mean, it would be crazy. It'd be the most Giants thing in the world.
Yep, fans would love it, and then until training camp, until somebody goes down, and then it's all negative stuff again.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you got to give the Giants fan base is probably the most ignorant, stubborn.
Oh my God, no.
I mean, Philly fans are bad. I mean, I've been.
I don't even think we're gonna win the table. I think we're gonna lose. I think how much games?
We're gonna win 3 more, dude.
I don't know about that. I just know we're gonna lose more and we're gonna win for the rest of the season. That's all I know. And the team isn't good.
We're gonna win against every team in our division for the And that's going to be our only win for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that because that'll put us at what?
Let's move on to our last topic of the night. We're going to go ahead and cut this one kind of short. I got to get up early tomorrow. And this is one of my topics I was excited about. Is who do you think are the low-key stars on this team right now? Players who aren't being talked about. Bro. Me? I'm going to have to give it up to the rookies. I'm not going to say Saquon because obviously not low-key. I'm going to give it up to Lorenzo Carter, B.J. Hill, and Will Hernandez. Absolutely. You know, nobody's really talking about them. I think they're playing out of their mind. I think they're playing great. You know, I think they're playing great. I think Curtis Riley's playing pretty well. You know, so I'm going to have to give it to B.J. Hill, Dalvin Tomlinson, and Lorenzo Carter, and Will Hernandez. I think those are our low-key stars at the moment. You know, people aren't talking about.
I agree with all those, but Collins and the different things that he does on every down. He is the MVP of that defense.
Yeah. Not BJ
Lorenzo
Goodson.
Carter.
Horrible. No,
not BJ.
No, somebody conversated with BJ Goodson. He's been horrible.
Lorenzo Carter has shown so much promise these last couple weeks that it gets me like I'm playing subbing everybody for Lorenzo Carter. It's like the kid has tremendous, but so did half the outside linebackers that Clint Sintum we drafted, Devon Kennard. We were expecting to be these ultimate outside linebacker pass rushing studs like LT, and they never came to affirmation. But Lorenzo Carter looks like he can ball. Yeah, and I'm just excited.
That's why I would love to pair him with Josh Allen. I'd love to pair him with Josh Allen. I'd love it.
Or Bosa. Give me a Bosa. I'll take Bosa.
I mean, no, if Bosa's there, I'll take him. Bosa's the best player in the draft. If Bosa's there, I'll take him.
By far, dude.
Make him an outside linebacker, you know, and let him go to work.
Get rid of freaking OV. You know?
But, I mean, if you're talking about pure, like, getting to the quarterback, Bosa's better at getting to the quarterback than anybody in this draft class. But Nick Bosa, not Bosa, I'm sorry, Josh Allen. Josh Allen is the best player in this draft class to getting to, like, if you're talking about just getting to the quarterback, he can stop the run, but not as, but he can't do, but he's not as complete as Bosa. He's not as complete as Bosa. Bosa is the most complete. He's the best player in the draft. He's the best player in the draft.
Most polished player. Yeah.
Exactly. What do you guys? This will be the last question of the night, you guys. It says, what would you guys do with Ogletree? Can't cover worth shit. Trade him. Trade him for a bag of Doritos. That's
you know what? But he's made great, made bonehead plays. He's like
he has made some stupid good plays.
It's a hit or miss with him. It's like
Ed Oliver. No, Ed Oliver's overrated, man. He's a run stuffer. He's been horrible at getting to the quarterback this past years. I mean, he's been a phenomenal run stuffer, but in terms of getting to the quarterback, Ed Oliver has been so lackluster. It's pathetic. I had high hopes for Ed Oliver too. I thought he was going to be like the next Aaron Donald, and then he just did a 180 on me.
The joys of being a Giant fan.
Yeah, he's Ed Oliver's really falling down the draft boards there. But all right, guys, that's definitely going to conclude it for the night. I hope you guys enjoyed our after Thanksgiving live stream.
Yeah.
Dean, if you want to say
thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and tune out. You guys have a good night. Enjoy your leftovers of Thanksgiving, and you guys keep bleeding blue.